You are now listening to the Baseball Aficionado, episode number 12. Happy to be with you guys once more. I'm your host, Santos, the Baseball Aficionado. And of course, I'm happy to bring back one of my guests. On this episode, we are going to talk about a lot of things going on right now with the baseball season as we're getting towards the later stages of the season. So we're going to talk a little bit about MVPs, awards, a little bit of the stuff going on, the MVP races in the NL, the AL, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year, all sorts of things, and we'll put a little sazon into it as well. So I want to bring back one of my recurring guests, a friend of ours, a friend of mine for sure, Willy Baez of Bodega Sports. But before anything, make sure that if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe. It helps us grow. We appreciate the support, of course. And as always, streaming on all audio platforms where you get your podcasts. And of course, make sure to follow me on those social media platforms. Links are in the bio, the whole thing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Gonna bring back my boy, my friend of the program, friend of mine, Willy Baez of Bodega Sports. Bienvenido una vez más.
What's up? What's up?
Yo,
Santos?
Bodega, baby, Bodega. Let's do it.
I got to represent. I see you with Santos, so I had to bring it.
Yeah. No, so funny thing, before we get started, actually, because I love the sweatshirt and stuff. So I've done merch in the past independently, but I kind of want to tie everything together. So Baseball Aficionado merch is coming. It's on the way. I want to get my everything right. I don't want to have a bunch of sweatshirts and t-shirts and just have them sitting in a box somewhere, I got to make sure they fly off the shelf.
I mean, you want to do a Baseball Aficionado Conglomerate, LLC type of shit.
That's right. That's right.
I get it.
That's right, papi. Ya lo sabe.
Pues nada. Yeah, tell me.
Vamos a darle. Listen, you're the guy. You're the moderator guy. You're the one.
You know why I moderate, right? Tú entiendes why? Because I got Claudio with me. So Claudio is like everywhere, man. That guy just goes everywhere. So I gotta moderate him.
You know what I love about what you guys do? And if you guys don't know, you guys by now, whoever, you guys who follow me and check out all the stuff I do, you guys got to follow Bodega Sports. It's a platform. They talk about sports and they do it. Ellos lo hacen en español, but they do it in such a way that I think even if you don't speak Spanish, you're going to get what's going on because they do a little Spanglish stuff as well in there. You know what I mean? Like it's bilingual in a way too. So like lo que ustedes hacen es a otro nivel. Un contenido a otro nivel, mi gente. If you guys love my stuff, you're going to really love Bodega stuff. So I just want to give that plug because these guys are awesome. They got Claudio. They got obviously Willy. Franklin is another guy who comes out like, fino, así, como, you know what I mean? Like bien educado, sofisticado. My man, parece un bachatero ahí hablando. Pero no, un saludo a ellos que la verdad que they do a great job. So I just wanted to make sure we put that out there. So
thank you, bro. Thank you. Now vamos a comenzar with the MLB awards predictions. So we're gonna start with the lowest tier, the Manager of the Year, and we're gonna move on from there. I want to start with the American League Manager of the Year. I think we got the same guy, but you go ahead, present him.
Yeah. So I wanted to. I hate like doing everything chalk. So I hate like just agreeing with you, but we'll go in two ways. So we'll talk about the guy who we have in common, which I think Stephen Vogt has done such a great job that I think it's almost impossible to deny him of that award. We're talking about obviously the manager of the Cleveland Guardians. That team from start to now, they've been on fire. They've done great.
Yeah, no, I wish I could have selected Matt how do you pronounce his name?
Quattro or something. Quattaro. I hate
Quattaro. Yeah.
I hate Quattaro. Yeah. He's done a good job though.
But he's a manager of the Royals,
Yep.
The only thing that, for me at least, that kills it a little bit is that he has really good pitching, right? And they have their ace. They got Seth Lugo, and they have their second best pitcher, Kyle Reagans. So I think that, and they have Salvador Perez. They have Bobby Witt Jr., which, is on the MVP discussion. So they got people. The thing with Cleveland is that Shane Bieber got injured. So your ace is out, So how do you maintain that, like, how do you maintain that bullpen? How do you maintain that rotation? It's a lot of things. So I thought, you know what? Stephen Vogt has done everything with what he has, and rookies on the outfield and everything. He's just doing everything.
Yeah, ese equipo está loaded.
Hmm.
Like, that's I agree. Like that's the thing when you talk about the manager of the year, right? You look at two things. You look at how the players have played, how the team has improved from one year to the next, and you also look at the talent level, right? Is
Yeah.
the team absolutely loaded, right? Is the team loaded, or are they doing more with less? And you can make the
Yeah.
argument, like you mentioned, obviously Kansas City's manager, he has a better hand than what
Hmm.
Cleveland's got. Cleveland, they're not loaded. They got better talent, I think, this year, but than they've had in recent years. Pero no es que un equipo, vamos a decir, que es loaded, you
No,
know?
no, no. No, of course not. And after that, I mean, I don't have anybody else. To be honest, those are the two guys. You can argue for Rocco Baldelli, but Minnesota, I think, has guys. They got Royce Lewis, they got Correa, they got guys. So I
Can I
didn't.
make
Yeah, go.
can I make an argument for Rocco as well, though? I'll make an argument. The only just
All right.
they're on the outside looking in. I don't think they're gonna win, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to make an argument for two guys as wild cards, I guess, if you will say, for lack of a better word, dark horses.
Mm-hmm.
Rocco Baldelli's had a lot of injuries. That's the one thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, Minnesota is gonna hit. They hit a lot. They don't have like a pitching staff that's like otherworldly, you know.
No, and
So
their ace
and
hasn't
Roy,
been their
Mhm.
ace, which
Yeah,
would be
no, he hasn't been
Pablo.
good this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make the argument Rocco deserves some votes, and
Mm-hmm.
another guy who people are not really talking a lot about, but you know, Joe Espada.
Alex, Joey
No, Joe
Spada.
Espada. Well, now you brought up
Damn.
Alex too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
Alex don't got a great team.
No, at all, man. At
The
all.
Red Sox aren't loaded, so
And they're
it's
fourth on the wild card. We'll talk about it later, but they're fourth right now. They're right there.
yeah. They're right there. So the only reason I would have said Cora, sure, but I was leaning more towards maybe Joe Espada consideration too, because
Hmm.
Joe Espada, bro, that team was dead.
Yeah, yeah,
Dead. They
yeah.
had injuries galore, the Astros. Now I know that the Astros,
They still
so
got
he's
an
not.
injury. They still got injuries. Luis Garcia hasn't come back. Verlander's about to be active. Let me see. Pito
Uh-huh.
Abreu. They had to release him. I mean, they got a lot going on for his first year.
Yeah, I just think, yeah. Now again, I don't think he should win. I think we
Hmm.
got the guy right. I think Vogt
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the guy. Pero
yeah.
just consideration, and Alex is a nice honorable mention as well. Pero Joe
Hmm.
Espada, mira, ese equipo estaba 10 games behind when we recorded a podcast back in May, I think,
Hmm.
something like
Yeah.
that. So something to think about.
All right. National League Manager of the Year. Who you got?
This one is a little, bro. This can go in 100 different directions.
Hmm.
Honestly, I mean, if you told me Carlos Mendoza won from the Mets won the National League
Yeah.
right manager, you could make that argument too. I'm not saying the
Hmm.
Mets were dead,
Yeah.
and we'll, like you said, we'll talk about that later. They probably still might not make the playoffs, but they were dead.
Hmm.
So, pero I gotta go with Mike Schilt just
All right.
because what
Make your
he's
case.
done.
Let me
I
see.
see what I understand. The Padres have talent, right? So this is what we're talking about. Oh, do you have a loaded team? Are you
Hmm.
doing more with less? In his case, I give him credit because it's not a thing about doing more with less. It's about calming the storm in San Diego. Porque acuérdate, San Diego's had high expectations. Although Soto's not there, the roster's very good
Hmm.
and they've
Yeah.
made improvements, right? He's found a good way. Estamos viendo la ficha. Muy bien.
Hmm.
He's doing the right moves. He's got this team playing together. And for that reason, I got to give it to Mike Schilt. I think he's done a great job with this San Diego team.
I would agree with you, but I gotta go with Pat Murphy on Milwaukee. Normally, I don't like to give credit for winning the NL Central, but
Right.
the way that they've been doing it, Milwaukee, and now that Yelich is out, that's what won it for me.
Mhm.
That's what won it for me. I mean, they don't have their ace again. Corbin Burns is out. They traded him. Devin Williams hasn't been there the whole year. He just came
That's
back.
right.
Let me see. Willy Adames is above. At the end of the day, I think Pat Murphy, at least from what I've seen, is that he's good at like, how do you call it? Like hyping up the group. Like
Hmm.
just talking with the guys. Like the guy, when you see him, he fires up. He's always fighting against the strike zone. So he riles up people. And I
Yeah.
think that uh, basically people either had St. Louis or they might have had the Reds or even the Pirates starting 7-0 the first 7
Yeah.
games. But the Brewers were not in that discussion, to be honest. And they've proven with time and with Pat Murphy that that's it, that they got the NL Central.
You know what? That's a good listen. You can't go wrong in any with any pick because what you
Mhm.
said is true. He galvanizes the troops, right?
Yeah.
He gets the most,
He's
and
always
this is like
fighting,
what
man. He's like Brett Boone of the National League, or I mean, Aaron Boone of the
Aaron.
National League. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. He's a player manager
Hmm.
at the yeah. Because if you look at that team, it's not loaded either. That
No.
roster's not, and I understand now the Central's not a great division, but
Mm-mm.
still they've been on top for most of the year. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. All right. Rookie of the year. We'll start with the National League because everybody, well, there could be a
Yeah.
surprise. There's a dark horse, but right now we have Paul Skenes as winning the Rookie of the Year. Right?
In
There's
the
no
NL,
surprise there. Yeah, on the NL.
yeah, it's almost boring to talk about.
No,
Shota Imanaga started out well, but then he flamed out
he
quick.
flamed out. Yeah, he flamed out. He reminded we don't pay Japanese players. Why they didn't used to pay Japanese players. So I think that there's a case to be made for Jackson Merrill.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can convince me if Paul Skeens sits down, which they were talking about, like maybe since they're on last place, they're not gonna win anything. They thought about sitting down Paul Skeens, and if Jackson Merrill just keeps doing what he's doing the whole year, and he was basically with San Diego, same thing. He's only 21, I think it is. He's playing great. You can make a case, right? That,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he plays September just like that and Paul Skeens sit down, then he could win Rookie of the Year. Right now, I got Paul Skeens. It's nothing you ever seen.
No, no.
Let me see. The last play that I really sat down to watch his debut and say, you know what, let me see this guy was Steven Strasburg, back in 2010, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So for me, that gave me the vibe of Steven Strasburg when I saw him pitch. I was like, damn. I was excited. I called my brother, which he doesn't watch baseball, but he watched it with me. He follows a little bit of the game, but I told him, this kid is special. Take a look at him. Like today, just watch this game with me. I called him up and we watched the game at the same time. Like that's how excited I was for this kid. So yeah, I
I
got him.
like, yeah, yeah. I don't think it's close unless, like what you said, unless there's some sort of a organizational, you know,
Hmm.
shift or for him to sit down for a month or whatever was left. Other than that, Jackson Merrill's very exciting player.
Hmm.
I just think Paul Skeens, though, the impact he's had since being up, I think it's just too much. You can't deny it. I just think Paul Skeens, like you said, must watch, much CTV,
Must
as they
see.
say. So I
Must see
agree. I
TV.
think it's more of a layup with this, unless you said, like you say, unless he gets sat for the remaining month and whatever it is left. So,
But just so people know, 8 wins, 2 losses, 2.16 ERA.
oh, nasty. No, no, he's
And
great. Mhm.
look at the strikeouts. Look at the strikeouts. He got 130 in 104 innings. It is
Oh
nasty,
God, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Nasty.
He's
So,
barely
and you
been
know
up.
what?
He hasn't been up long.
And you know what's funny? So the guys that are going against him, of course, Chris Sale, people like that, they got like 150 innings. Only
Right,
50
right.
innings above him. Like right now, I have him top 3, and we'll talk about Cy Young, but I have him
Cy
top 3 in
Young.
Cy Young. Yeah, we'll
That's
talk about it.
listen. I appreciate that because I think
Hmm.
and we'll talk obviously about the AL one too. I appreciate
Hmm.
when people think outside the box when it comes to awards. It makes it more interesting. So I like that idea, and I think Paul Skenes deserves Cy Young consideration. He won't win it because I don't think he has the innings as
Hmm.
far as to compare, right? Pero
Yeah.
he deserves votes. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
No, I agree. I agree. 100% agree. All right. American League Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna start with mine. Right. I know a lot of people, since I'm Dominican, I should be going with the guy and blah 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 blah. No, I'm gonna
Right,
go
right,
with
right, right.
everything unconventional. I'm gonna go with
Go ahead.
Carlton Cowser from the Orioles. That kid has been doing everything,
Yeah, yeah,
everything. You know, I
yeah.
mean, remember, Rookie of the Year is not about most valuable for your team. He's not the most valuable. I think it's Gunnar Henderson, then Corey Burns, then Adley. There's a lot of people above him, right?
Of course.
But the kid is batting 249, 19 home runs, and I'll tell you right now, in terms of if people like OPS plus right now, he's at
Yeah.
124, which is 24% better than anybody at his position. He's been playing left field most of the time, but he can play center field, right field, you know, call it. So I got him right now as my rookie of the year. Who you got?
I like Cowser. I think what he's doing is great. I think the problem with him is that he kind of gets
Hmm.
lost in the shuffle. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna hurt him. He's
Mm.
kind of like he's not even like in the top five of the Orioles of who you think of. You think of, like you said, um, what's
Henderson,
his
Adley,
you think of Henderson, Adley, you think of
Cedric
Santander,
Mullins,
who's been amazing, Cedric
Santander,
Mullins. Come on, like who you
Even Jackson Holiday, people think about more than him. He
right,
gets lost in
right.
the shuffle. I agree. I agree.
That's gonna hurt him. For me, that's a good pick though. I mean, you could have went with Willy Abreu también. He's
Willie
been good.
Abreu. Yeah, yeah.
Willy
No, I agree.
Abreu's been very good. I like
Hmm.
him too. I want to go with the more. Now I know the guy I'm going with has not been as good second half as first half. I'm gonna be clear about that.
Yeah.
Pero his ERA is still in the threes. I'm talking about the Yankees pitcher Luis Hill. I think Luis Hill deserves the award just because they've adjusted to him. He's had bad starts in the second half, but he hasn't flatlined yet. You
Hmm.
understand? He's had a couple starts where, okay, he's only gone 3 innings where he gets tattooed. But
Hmm.
what does he do the next start? Bounces back, only gives up 2 runs, maybe 3 runs.
Yeah.
He's not at a 1 ERA. He's not an 8. He's not Pedro Martinez quite yet, right?
Yeah.
Pero given the expectation, he's come out of nowhere. This is his first go round. Has never thrown this many innings. Luis Hill with his ERA at 3.39, 12-6 record. Good record. We don't love records nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Wins or
No, no,
not,
no. Nobody cares
whatever.
about wins.
Pero
Nobody
it's
cares about
solid.
wins.
It's decent. It's just for
Hmm.
context, right? Uh, one is about 144 strikeouts. Whip is 1.20. Mira, este tipo, he takes the ball once every fifth day, pitching for a contender. I think Luis, he's bent but not broken.
Yeah.
For that reason, I give it to Luis Hill.
I'm gonna give you somebody that he reminds me of, and I've spoken to this when he was having like like not the MVP, but the Cy Young Award discussion at the beginning of the year, the first
Uh-huh.
2 3 months. I said he reminds me of Ubaldo Jimenez on 2010.
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
why, and I
Mhm.
said it, eh, but Ubaldo Jimenez, if you remember, he was 10-1 with 50 games on the season.
For the
He
Rockies.
started
Yep.
the yeah with the Rockies. He started the year great. He flamed out on the second half because they basically got him. Like they watched film. They were like, you know what? He's tipping his pitches, blah blah blah, and same thing with Luis Hill. You know, and
Mm,
then he got injured now. So to me, that's what it got me out of the race, at least for rookie of
yeah.
the year. Like once I saw that I think his elbow was hurting him a little bit. I was like, you know what, he might not be pitching for a while. So I was like, if this is it, and Cowser just hits 25 home runs as a rookie, then that's it. I mean, nothing to look for.
You know what it is though, and I
Yeah.
understand that part as far as the injury and the worrying about the
Hmm.
tipping pitches, all that, and the adjustment. I get that,
Yeah.
pero I'm a big believer in rewarding guys who have done it from the beginning of the season to recent. You understand? Like the
Yeah.
sample
Yeah.
size is so much more. Cowser didn't have that same large sample size. Like, like Luis Hill has not been an ace before he got hurt. He wasn't an ace lately, pero ¿qué pasa? Luis Hill was about pretty consistent all around from the beginning until now. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand the floor is falling off a little bit, pero I reward guys who were great from the beginning on to recent. I think the sample size is large
No,
for the
okay.
season, I'm saying.
No. I
You
know.
know, it's a season
I know.
award. That's what it is. Like, okay, if you're talking about the second half, no, he's not. Pero I just feel like the sample size is very, ¿tú entiendes? Like, there's really no great answer for this award, to
Yeah,
be
no.
honest with you. So,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And I hope, I wish it was Luis Hill, but Colton is who I got. Okay, Cy Young. So on this one, we did it a little bit different. I wanted to see because I think we all agree on the guy, but I wanted to see the top three for at least for us, right? To
right.
differentiate how we evaluate, because if we just tell you, oh yeah, it's school ball, like everybody knows, all right. But I'll give you my top three and we'll argue it. So I got
Yeah, let's
Corbin
do it.
Burns number three, I got Emmanuel Clase number two, and I got Schoolball winning the Cy Young on the American League. Who you got?
Yeah. Yeah, so for number three, even though he's come crashing down to earth a little bit lately, I got Seth Lugo. I think Seth Lugo all around has been very consistent. So I have Seth Lugo as my number three spot. I would not give it to him, but I think he's in the conversation
Mhm.
for the whole year, for the whole
Yeah,
body of work, right? Obviously, number two, I'm with you, Emmanuel Clase. I mean, we have not seen a reliever, and he deserves votes, and he better get votes for Cy Young because I understand he's a reliever, but he's
yeah,
been like a video game. I mean, this
yeah,
guy is he's the best reliever in the game by a mile right now. There's
yeah.
nobody even close.
No,
And
nobody.
he's been more dominant even than last year, than 2022 Edwin Diaz. And that's my boy, but I have to be honest. He's been more dominant than anybody we've seen in the last 5 years.
Without
I'm
striking out
sorry.
people.
Without
That's
striking out
crazy.
people.
That's crazy. Just for frame of reference, I mean, I know that people like the last 4 years, they want to compare with the first 4 years of Mariano Rivera. I don't
Mhm.
think it's fair. I think Mariano,
No, it's not fair.
it's like the GOAT
Clase
of
aparte.
GOATs, clase aparte. But basically, the thing with Emmanuel Clase is that he has, I'll tell you right now, he has 49 strikeouts on, let me see, on 59 innings pitched. That's crazy. You don't see that very
Yeah.
often.
No.
I mean, he
No.
pitches at 100 miles an hour if he wants to every time, but he has a cutter and a sinker that is a ground ball every time.
Yeah.
And he has really good defense behind him. You got
That's
Andres
right.
Jimenez, you got Jose Ramirez. You know, at the end of the day, I think, in my opinion, he's the second best pitcher that I've seen this year. And
I
even
agree with you.
WAR,
In any
yeah,
league. We
in
need a
any
league.
league.
I
And
agree.
it's funny, the WAR actually agrees with us. He's
Hmm.
better than Corbin Burns in terms of
High. Super high.
B WAR. And I was surprised. I
Hmm.
was like, bro, like how? Like what's going on? Like it's been a while that I've seen somebody so dominant at
Yeah.
this stage right now. Like right now, he should be like a 1.90, 1.85 ERA. No, he's not getting hit. He's not getting
No,
hit.
it's ridiculous.
It's
And
ridiculous.
yeah, he
Mhm.
deserves. And listen, if he won the Cy Young, if they tell me he's winning the Cy Young, I'm not mad at it. I think he deserves it. The
Yeah,
only reason I didn't put him first is because one is a starter and one is a reliever, right? I mean, we're
correct.
talking about
Correct.
the next guy we're gonna mention, but
It's funny, real quick. How can I put it? Emmanuel Clase, right? Or any reliever. How valuable is it to have somebody that closes games like Edwin Diaz? Like you see the difference. If Edwin Diaz was himself, I
mhm,
think the Mets would be on third place on the
I
wild
agree
card.
with you.
That's just me.
Yeah, it makes a difference in this. Yeah, it can make a difference of 2, 3, 4, 10 games in the year.
Correct. I mean, look at
Hmm.
Cleveland. Of course, they're on first place. They got the best reliever right now
In the game. Yep.
that can
Yep.
come in. Remember,
That's right.
it, he has 37 saves, and we don't care about saves anymore. We care about because at the end of the day, they'll bring him in on the eighth inning and not bring him on the ninth. I don't know if you've seen that,
That's
but
right. Of
sometimes they'll
course.
put him to
Yeah.
hold
When they
because
need
they
them. When they
need
need
him.
them.
They need him on
Hmm.
the seventh. They'll put him on
Hmm.
the seventh.
That's right. Yeah.
So
With
saves
two
don't
outs in the
really
seventh inning. Yeah.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's how
that's
you
why,
that's how you do it. That's how
and
you
that's how
win.
you, yeah, and that's how you win right now. So that's why I'm like, yeah, saves matter, but at the end of the day, there's more to it. The leverage of when you use your reliever or your best reliever, and that's what he's done. All right,
Now, on
tell
that
me.
note, just really quick because we're talking about relief pitchers. Now,
Hmm.
he's not in the discussion for any sort of Cy Young, but I gotta give props to Yusef for mentioning Raisel Iglesias before.
Man, yeah,
But
yeah,
he,
yeah.
to be fair, he wasn't as good at that point than he
No, I
is
know.
now. Right now, and the reason I bring up Raisel is because him and Emmanuel Clase have a similar repertoire, similar approach. They don't
Hmm.
strike a million guys out. Like when
No,
Edwin was on top of his game, he's striking out everybody. Like
yeah,
it's more pleasing to the eye. It's more like striking everybody out. This
it's eye
he's
candy. How do you call it?
right. I can
Yeah,
do, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to give props to Raisel. He has like this hit. He had a streak, right? Right. I know
Hmm.
Yusef will be like, yeah, I told you. I
Yeah,
told you.
yeah,
I'm like, no, but he wasn't as good back then. He's
yeah.
been better now than the first half, Raisel. So I just wanted to bring that up. Just he doesn't deserve an award like that, but I'm just saying, at least not for Cy Young. Pero
No, no, no. I
just
mean, at the end of the day, a Mariano Rivera Reliever Award is going to go to Emmanuel Clase, and most likely the Trevor Hoffman Award for the National League might be going to Raisel.
maybe I
We'll
think
see.
so. Yep.
All right, National League, who we got?
Wait, American League. We talked. All right, just to because we gotta make
Oh,
sure
my
we
bad,
got
my
it
bad.
clear.
Yeah, yeah,
Scooble,
yeah, go.
right?
Hmm.
Number
Yeah,
one,
Terry
Scooble. We
Skubal.
agree, right?
Yeah, we
Guys,
agree on that.
insane.
He's been the best way that I can describe Skubal. He has no complete games. He has no shutouts. This is so surprising to me. Man,
Who
I've
does
never
though?
seen a Skubal. He doesn't have one
No, no,
shutout
no. But
the
I'm
whole
saying,
year.
but who does nowadays? Is what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Like who
Framber
is
Valdez,
rare.
Ronel. It has to be a no hitter type of thing. So yeah, I agree. But man, before Tim Lincecum, Roy Halladay was phenomenal at that. He would
I
just
love
have like
Framber Valdez,
eight.
bro.
Yeah,
Tú no me puedes decir nada de Framber, bro. I know
I
he's
know,
not
I
in
know.
that discussion, but I love Framber. Framber is my dude. He's es como de vieja escuela. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
his
yeah,
aura. I
yeah. No,
love
I
pitchers
agree.
like that.
So basically, Terry Schoolball is not dominant, but consistently good. That's all it is. That's why I'm
Yeah,
not showing love for the guy. And I talked more about Emmanuel Clase. If you don't see me as excited, it's because right now he's just consistently good, not great. That's all. All right.
you're trying to not be a homer too. So I think that's what you don't want to be a
Yeah.
homer, right? I
Yeah.
get it, man. Like no, but Scuba's been
Yeah.
consistent though.
Yeah,
He
I
was
know.
better in the first half though, to be fair. So
Yeah, of course.
hmm
Of course.
hmm
All right. National League. I'll start with mine. I'll give you my threes. Number three, I
uh-huh.
got Paul Skenes. Number two, I got Zach Wheeler. Number one, Chris Sale. You go for yours and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so my top three Cy Young guys for the National League. I got Dylan Cease at number three, Zach Wheeler at number two, and I got
Mhm.
Chris Sale as number one. I think just Chris Sale's just been. Well, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, so what I was gonna say, I mean, if you told me that Chris Sale at this stage in his career, 2024, was retired, I would have been like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, great.
yeah, I mean, great. I mean, the guy was good. He won a Cy Young, everything. It's cool.
There, yeah.
Or did he win a Cy Young? Maybe he didn't. No, I could be wrong. I don't think he's won a Cy Young.
But he's been
Regardless,
close. He's been
he's been
close.
very close. But but that he's doing it at this stage on his career with the Braves, everything that he went through with Boston, with all the
Yeah.
injuries that he went through,
hmm
I'm happy for the guy. At the end of the day, all you want to see is somebody succeed after he was doubted. After all the injuries, after all the boos and everything, I'm happy for Chris Sale. You know.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I think he's deserving of it too. I think he's been great from the beginning to now. He's just been, you know.
Hmm. And Well, Zach Wheeler, to be honest, I mean, yeah, he's a. If anything happens, he's the guy. ERA 2.73,
Oh,
12-6.
oh.
I know you hate him because
I,
he used to be
uh,
your guy.
I
But
don't hate him. I hate the
uh
Mets
huh,
for letting him go. That
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't understand it. And that was the Wilpons. That was before this ownership group. Pero coño,
Hmm.
man, like it hurts me to see how great this guy turned into
He was
as a Mets
great.
fan.
No, no, no. He was great. Even with the Mets. I mean, he wasn't great. I'm sorry. He wasn't Cy
He
Young
was
worthy.
good, but
He was
he was
good.
getting better though. He
Yeah.
was getting
And
better.
he wasn't Noah Syndergaard, for example, that you knew that he had some
Yeah.
injury prone problems. Jacob DeGrom, we already know what's up with him. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was another guy apart from Zach Wheeler. Uh Dan
Mats, Steven Mats.
Steven Matz. Yeah.
Oh, ese es una
I
porquería.
know.
I never
I
thought he
thought
was
he was
good.
good. I thought he was good.
Because he's a lefty.
Regardless.
Everybody loves
Yeah.
lefties.
Yeah.
The
All right.
lefties get. I'm telling you, if you have a pulse and you can
Mhm.
remotely throw the ball with a left arm, you're gonna have a job, whether you have good stuff or not. Like
That is
it's
true.
just what it is. Like you can be
Yeah.
the wackest pitcher. You don't remember back in the day, San Francisco Giants. ¿Cómo que se llama?
Barry Seal?
No, el Boricua. Yeah, him too. But el Boricua, Jonathan Sanchez.
Oh man, yeah, yeah.
This guy
Wow.
had
What a
jobs
yeah.
forever. The
Yeah,
guy
that
you
is
threw
true.
batting practice.
Yeah, that is
Like,
true.
yeah. But
Eh, Now explain to me why you have Dylan Cease above Paul Skenes. I would do want to hear that.
the only reason, so okay, I know you were gonna ask me about this. It's just an innings thing. That's it. For me,
Hmm.
it's more of an innings thing. Listen, you could make the argument for Paul Skeens. I like you did before. I don't have it. I'm not mad at it. I just think Dylan sees over the whole year. I mean, he's been in the majors the whole year. I kind of when it comes to these things, I kind of look at it like
Hmm.
innings matter to me as far as how long have you done it, how long have you
Okay.
been around. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing. It's just an innings thing for me. I mean, I'm not mad either way. If Paul Skeens gets more votes, it is what it is. But
No, I get you. I get you. It's just the ERA, man. The ERA kills me. I mean, Dylan
yeah,
Cease
yeah, no,
is
it's great.
3.43,
Yeah,
and you're talking about a guy at 2.16. I mean, yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, I get it.
you're wrong. I don't say that often, but you're wrong. It's Paul
I'm
Skenes.
wrong.
You're
No,
wrong. You're
listen,
wrong.
I okay, but I can accept that. No, listen, I can accept that. I understand that Paul Skeens is gonna get votes. I
Yeah.
no doubt about it. But I just, to me, I reward longevity a little more. I think if a guy has done it long, I don't think Paul Skeens has had enough time. Now he's been great, but I'm saying I don't think
Hmm.
Paul Skeens has had enough time to f up or for people
Yeah.
to
No,
figure him out yet.
I agree. All right.
That's
Now
it. But,
we're going to the most. I would say. Hmm. Is the most controversial ones. All right. I'm gonna start
go ahead.
with the National League, right? No, you know what? I'll start with the American League because that one it's a
Uh-huh.
little bit less controversial.
Yes.
Number three, I got Jose Ramirez. Number two, I got Bobby Witt Jr. Number three, I got Aaron Judge. Who you got?
All right. So for AL MVP, my
Hmm.
my top three. Number three, I got Juan Soto. Number two, I got Bobby Witt Jr. Love him as a player.
Hmm.
And number one, I got Aaron Judge. I just think Aaron Judge is just on a different planet right
No,
now.
no, no. Of course, he's the best hitter this year. He's the best
Yeah.
hitter this year, and maybe of this 2020 era, he might be the best hitter. Look,
For sure.
it,
To me, I think so.
yeah. So the thing and where we vary, right, is with the Juan Soto and Jose Ramirez. I
Uh-huh.
think, in my opinion, that Jose Ramirez has been more valuable to his team. Maybe not the best statistically better than Juan Soto, but just more valuable than Juan Soto.
That's the
Hmm.
that's the argument I'm gonna make to you when I talk about the National League MVP.
All right, all
But
right.
yeah,
Go ahead,
that's
go
what I'm
ahead. I'm
gonna
sorry.
mention to you. No, no, no. But about this one, so Jose Ramirez, listen, I agree with
Hmm.
you. Listen, if you ask me, I like Jose Ramirez better. I'm not even a big Soto fan.
We know that. We know that. I was surprised when I saw
I
that
have
name.
mentioned this. Okay, I have mentioned this. Pero qué pasa? The guy has balled this year. I
Yeah.
can't. Not even a hater like me can dispute that. And it's not that
No.
I'm a Juan Soto hater. You know what bothers me? And
Hmm.
what really bothers me about him is there's a little bit of a nonchalantness to him. There's a little, and you notice it. Nobody talks about it this year because he wants to get paid.
Hmm.
That's why I'm afraid to pay him. He has
Okay.
like this little lax thing to him that I don't like. I'm afraid of paying him. And that's what
Okay.
nobody's talking about. Remember, Cano had it. You know,
Cano had a big
Cano
time.
had the,
I don't
yeah.
see it too much on Juan Soto. I think he's a workhorse, at least from what I've seen, like the videos and how his mindset is completely different from, I don't want to say like Dominican players, but his mindset is
I know what you
different.
mean.
Like
Yeah.
he sees the game different, you know. He's not Jose
He's very
City. Like there,
cerebral. He's very
Jose City is like on
cerebral.
this side,
Oh,
and then Juan Soto is on this side. You know, like,
oh.
and then on the middle you have like a Willy Adames. You know, like it's,
Yes,
like yeah,
yes, yes. You're 100%. I love that.
yeah.
That comparison is.
Hmm.
You got the Jose Siri and the what's the other guy's
Juan
name too?
Soto.
That I no 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 no
Oh,
yeah, but I mean on that same side, the freaking ¿cómo se llama? Morel. I can't
Morel,
stand him as a
Christopher
player.
Morel.
Oh, I hate players like that. And it's not personal, guys. It's not personal. People
No,
get
no, no. I know, I know.
because they hate the messenger. That's why. If I was
No,
Dominican
no, no,
saying
no,
it,
no.
they would
And
have.
it's not because you're saying it because I
No es
mentioned a
por
Dominican, but
nacionalidad.
it's like Eddie Rosario. You don't really
I
like his
can't stand Eddie
approach,
Rosario, otro hot dog. I
Yeah,
can't stand
so
guys like that.
I get you 100%.
Soto,
Eh,
okay. The
yeah,
reason
go
I
ahead.
brought up Soto real quick. So the reason why
Hmm.
I said Soto, right, was because he knows what time it is. He's gonna get paid. He
Yes.
hasn't stopped hitting for the most part, outside of a little injury he had. Remember, he had an injury a
Hmm.
couple months ago.
Yeah.
Um, remember, and the reason why I think he's very valuable too. Yes, Aaron Judge would have put up numbers anyway. You
Hmm.
take Soto and Judge away from that lineup. What is that lineup? That lineup is zero, zero.
ASS.
Right, right. ASS.
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, and now Ramirez, I like Ramirez better than Soto. He's been more consistent over his
Hmm.
career than Soto. And lastly, the reason why I wouldn't have paid Soto, as I've mentioned before,
Hmm.
it's look at the 2 years prior to this year. Look at the 3 years prior to this year. Go ahead, look at it. Outside of walks, okay, because everybody loves walks. I get it. The war is decent. Look at the numbers. There's fluctuation there. Jose Ramirez has been more consistent over his career, but
Hmm.
everybody loves Juan Soto
Juan
more.
Soto. I love Juan Soto, man. Yeah,
No, no, of
he's
course you
just
do.
like
I get it.
he's just like the it's eye candy. Watching him do the shuffle and all that stuff, people love him. That's the
He's got
reality.
swag.
People
He's
love
got
him. He got
swagger.
swag. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love. And listen, Jose
Hmm.
Ramirez is a potential Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We spoken
listen.
about this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love him. I love him. So if
All right.
Lindor played third base, right? If Lindor
Hmm.
was a third baseman who had con más fuerza, he would be
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez. That's who he would be.
We'll talk about that now. So NL, tell me your top three. I'll give you my top three.
Go ahead.
No, you go
Oh,
ahead.
I go. Okay, I go. Excuse me. So, all right. Number three, I got Francisco Lindor. Although I would have. All right, we'll talk about yours in a minute. But
Hmm.
Francisco Lindor, number three. Number two, Shohei Ohtani. I know, okay, yo no le estoy lambiendo a Ohtani like everybody else, but it is what it is, right? Marcell Ozuna, number one. The caveat is he got to win the Triple Crown. That's the caveat.
Okay.
Pero those are my top three.
Man, so I would love for Marcelo Ozuna. I'll give you my top three first. I'll give you Ketel
Go
Marte,
ahead.
number three. Number two, Marcelo Ozuna. Number one, Shohei Ohtani. So number three, I gotta explain it because Marcelo Ozuna, Shohei Ohtani. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about Lindor versus Marte real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, Ketel Marte and Lindor, what separates them on the race is whoever makes the playoffs. I can't put Lindor on
Mm.
top three if you're not gonna make the playoffs. How valuable really are you? Ketel Marte, I know he's been out for, he's gonna be out for 10 days, but he got Arizona right there on the top of the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
suffered since he left.
Good point.
That's a reality.
Good
So,
point.
and right now
Good
his
point.
WAR is above everybody. Like if it was only for WAR, he would win the award. So,
Uh,
that's why.
all right. And I
Mhm.
love Ketel Marte. And I would
Thanks,
have put you.
man.
You asked me a few days ago. I would have put Ketel Marte above Lindor. But the only reason
Mhm.
I put Lindor, and you can flip a coin.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you si es por números ofensivos,
Mhm.
okay, because I don't want to. I'm not a stat geek, but I can go crunch defensive numbers. I can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you Lindor's defensive numbers are better, and he plays a harder position. But
He does.
but
Mhm.
but from start to now, Ketel Marte hadn't stopped. Now he had a very little bit small dips in production
Mhm.
lately, but and then he got hurt. But that happens to anybody. His
Yeah.
numbers are ridiculous. The only reason I put Lindor over Ketel Marte is that I'm Puerto Rican. No, I'm just kidding. So the reason I put him there what is because of the value part.
Okay.
Now I understand what you're saying. Mets do got to make the playoffs. You're right, but take Lindor off of the Mets. Take Ketel Marte off the Arizona. What do you have? If you take Lindor off the Mets, they're screwed. They're done. They're not winning anything. They
But
probably won't win
Jose
anything
Iglesias
anyway.
right there on shortstop.
It's not the same though.
I
I
know.
like Jose Iglesias, but Jose Iglesias is a glove first guy. Doesn't have speed. Is a decent player. Can make contact, but it's not the same.
No, I know.
So to me, I you can flip a coin. Whatever. I love Ketel Marte, and the numbers are, and the war is close. Now,
I know.
the,
Yeah.
here's another thing too.
Mhm.
Think about where Lindor started at to where he's
Yeah, no.
been. He's made
No,
up a lot
man.
of ground.
He's made up a lot of ground. He started very, very. They were booing him. That's how bad it
Yeah.
was. So, he basically had to go back to the drawing board. That guy was struggling. But if anybody knows about his career, he struggles at the beginning, and then
Hmm.
he comes back on the he comes. Here's how bad he struggles. He always finishes. Last year he finished with 30-30. Before that he had 20 plus home runs. Before that, same thing. He struggles so much he hasn't made an All-Star since 2019. That's why he doesn't get
It's a
selected
fact.
because he
You're right.
starts
You're right. You're right. It's not just a bias. I think the bias
Mhm.
is due to the fact that he starts slow. They're like, oh, here we go
very
again.
slow.
That's what it
Very
is.
slow. Yeah.
And I think the Mets too, to be honest with you, and is the reverse effect. I think the nation as a country, right, nationally, not uh,
Mhm.
as far as city, New York, locally,
Yeah.
nationally, there's a LOL Mets thing. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So if you're a
No, no,
Met,
no.
it's
That
not
is
the
true.
same as when you wear a Yankee uniform. So,
Look, I want you to tell me
uh
real quick
huh,
what's more valuable to you? A 40-40
ah,
season,
here we
which
go.
Shohei Ohtani just did it, or a triple crown, Marcell Ozuna. They're both the ages. What is more valuable?
I think it depends on the team. So,
Mhm.
for example, for I can make the argument now in a conventional sense, is 40-40 more valuable for a team? Most likely. But
Mhm.
when you look at everybody that's gone down when in Atlanta, Ozzy Albies is gone. Acuna Jr. gone. Uh, what was the name? The first baseman, El Blanquito. ¿Cómo se llama?
Which one?
Or who's the guy? Or the third baseman. The guy that's one of the big guys are gone. Or Austin Riley,
Austin Riley. Yeah, you're right. They signed Gio
gone.
Urshela.
Right? Third baseman,
Mhm.
gone. Right? They've had a million injuries.
Yeah.
And the one constant and again, this is sort of like rewarding tenure and time.
Mhm.
Osuna has not stopped. Before
Yeah.
that big home run in the game on Saturday night, or sorry, Friday night, the walk-off grand slam, Ohtani had gone cold. So he's had more slumps. I know the
Mhm.
40-40 is cool. And the war is there too. Obviously, the war is going to be way higher. I understand that.
Yeah, yeah,
Pero
for sure.
Ozuna has not stopped hitting. He hasn't. And
No, that
that
is
he's
true.
on a he's on a sinking ship. So for that reason, in this for this particular argument, Osuna is more valuable to Atlanta because they'd be so lost without him, as opposed to the Dodgers without Ohtani.
So my only thing, against that is Otani hasn't had the help that he thought that he was going to
Mm,
have, if
mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
The only constant after him has been the Oscar Hernandez. After that,
Mhm.
Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, for personal reasons, they've been out. So he doesn't have the protection that he thought that he was going to have. And he's had to, adjust to that. Like basically he had to go back to, when he was at the Angels, for example, that he was the only guy because Mike Trout was always hurt, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think right now, Shohei Ohtani, he's a bound to be the MVP. Don't talk to me about being the sweetheart of the MLB, all of this stuff. No, he's
Well,
been
he
more
is.
valuable to the
But
Dodgers. He is,
but he is.
he
Yeah.
is,
Oh, he is.
but he is more valuable. Even,
Yeah.
even, and it might be controversial for Dominicans, but even if Marcell Ozuna wins the Triple Crown, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be
Okay.
Shohei Ohtani. That's a reality.
Okay, that's a different argument though. But
Hmm.
you heard what you said. You said
Yeah,
even if he wins the Triple Crown, it's gonna be Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with that.
yeah.
I think it's
Hmm.
gonna be him anyway. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
think they're gonna
okay.
deny him. I'm just saying how
Yeah.
I would vote it. If the caveat for me,
Hmm.
the only difference between Shohei and Marcel is this, because Shohei's gonna have the war, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Regardless, Marcel doesn't steal bases. I think you have more speed than Marcelo Osuna,
for sure,
right?
for
So
sure.
so here's the thing. I just the caveat is just the Triple Crown. Just to me, for that team, I
Hmm.
just think if he wins the Triple Crown, I think it's hard to not give him the award. But I think, like you said, I think they're gonna give it to Otani anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So now we are going to the MLB standings predictions. All right. So we're gonna start with the easy ones, right? We're gonna
Hmm.
start with the. I want to start with the National League West. All right.
Ah, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
you're throwing a
Yeah. Yeah.
curveball. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start. Everybody starts with the AL East, but no, I'm gonna start with the NL West, and I want you to tell me your team. I mean, I got the Dodgers right now. They're winning what, 4 games above Arizona.
Well, the NL West division, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. NL West division.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you there
Yeah,
for sure.
Dodgers all the way.
There's no. I don't think that the Padres can make up that distance. I think if they would have started better, they probably could have. Because I think,
Yeah,
if you ask me, I think San Diego's played better as a team.
I think
In the
that
second
the
half.
Dodgers have been not overrated. They're always overrated, right? But I
Hmm.
think that people don't realize that after that big three that they have in the Oscar, I can't call them big four, but I can call them big three.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That lineup kind of, it's like the Yankees if you take Aaron Judge and Juan Soto.
Yeah,
Who they
you
really
can't
got?
have Kike Hernandez playing every day.
No,
And
no.
I love Kike Hernandez if he plays 2 or 3 times in a week. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, how many highlights do I gotta see on Instagram with him fucking pitching? I mean, come on. Like y los
That
boricuas
is true.
celebrando, and I'm saying this, I'm a boricua, I can say this. Y los
Hmm.
boricuas celebrando, wow, Kike, qué talento. Bro, you hitting like, what are you hitting? Like 202? We're supposed to celebrate that he's throwing a pitch and he's playing all over the diamond. Like, come on.
The
I'm not
Mendoza
impressed.
line.
I'm not impressed.
Nah, I
Sorry, I'm
know.
not impressed. I'm not impressed.
So I'm gonna skip it a little bit for people, because for the National League we got the same guys, we got the same teams. We already know
Hmm.
it's gonna be
Yeah, yeah,
Dodgers,
yeah.
Milwaukee, and the Phillies. That's it.
Yeah, that's not
Those are the
fun.
three
There's
guys.
nothing
That's
interesting
not
about
fun.
that.
All
No.
right. Now I want you to talk to me about the wild card on the
Hmm.
National League. The only thing, are the Mets gonna make it?
Ah.
I want to ask this question to you personally. Are the Mets gonna win the wild card for the National League?
Okay, I think this one I wrote with my heart, bro,
Mm-hmm.
because my mind is telling me no chance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, history is telling me not the, especially El Cuco está ahí. Atlanta. I don't care who's on the team. They could put you, me, Yusuf, Claudio on the roster. They still
Mm-hmm.
we'll hit home runs. We'll still be good. The Braves will
Okay.
still beat the Mets. It don't matter who they put there. Pero esos son los cucos de los Mets. My heart says the Mets. My brain says probably Atlanta. But I'm gonna stick with the Mets just because I want to do. I just want to debate you. So I put the
I
Mets.
get you. I get you. Believe me, I get you 100%. I mean,
Braves are
eh,
hurt. I mean, they've kind of floating. They're floating. They're kind of treading water. But the
yeah.
Braves are, they gotta fall at some point, no? I hope.
No, they're not. They're not.
No.
They got the
Ay,
second
ay,
best player
ay.
right now on their team on the National League. They're not gonna lose. I think that you the only case that you could have made was basically that this guy's come down to earth, San Diego, because they've been playing out of their mind, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. You know, I don't think that it would have been if San Diego would have been on third place on the wild card. I could have seen the Mets, but at the end of the day, the Mets are the Mets, and they'll Mets it out. You know, Mets it out.
They're gonna Mets it. They're gonna Mets it up.
They're gonna Mets it up. Yeah, basically. All right,
I hope you're
go.
wrong, bro. I know what it is. It's history.
Hmm.
I get it. It's hard to combat history, bro. You don't believe it until you see it.
Oh, for
So
sure, for
I get
sure.
it.
All right, so AL West and AL Central. I'll spoil it. We have Houston. Oh, wait, I didn't know you went another route. Okay, AL Central. Tell me, why do you
Whatever.
have a on the AL Central? You have Cleveland
Why would I
winning.
not have Cleveland?
Go for it. Tell me.
Cleveland's been in first place the whole year.
Yeah,
I
that
know
is true.
this is a very boring take, but it's true. Like I believe didn't we just mention right the AL Manager of the Year, Stephen Vogt? Why would he
Yeah.
let that team fall off? I just think Cleveland they got that they're very scrappy. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
I think they're gonna present problems in the playoffs. I just have this feeling that they're gonna be one of those teams that's gonna go on a run. Um, I'm serious because think about it. Their lineup is slump proof. They don't rely on a lot of home runs and boppers. Like I could see, I could see
I
the
mean,
Yankees.
That kid Noel is it's a big
Yeah, yeah, no,
swing guy. You know.
yeah, but most of their lineup doesn't
Hmm.
is not like that. Doesn't reflect
Yeah.
that. Even Jose Ramirez is slump proof in a way.
Yeah, that is
Like
true.
he's a
Yes.
line drive guy. He can hit line drives. But
Hmm.
Juan, these guys are not. Like he's an accept. Like Noel is doing a great job. The
Yeah, yeah.
rookie.
Hmm.
Pero Noel is doing a great job, but he's an exception to the rule. He's a big, yeah. He reminds me, he's a big kid,
Yeah,
big
he's a big
strong
kid.
kid. He's big strong. I mean, mucho
He reminds
plátano
me of
power.
Willy Peña.
Yes, same
Yeah,
body. Yeah, yeah.
same
Mucho
body type.
plátano ahí, mucho
Hmm.
plátano. Pero, pero yeah, I just think that I think they'll hold on.
So I think Kansas City's gonna win it. Right now they're one
Mm,
game behind, but I do believe that they have the right pitching. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to on the regular season. How healthy are your pitchers? Are they good?
mhm.
And I think that they got better pitching than Cleveland Guardians, in my opinion. That's all it is. In terms of lineup, you can argue that Cleveland has a better lineup, but and a better reliever, of course. I mean, no discussion with
Yeah,
that.
of course. Hmm.
But Kansas City has been consistent. Said Lugo came down to earth a little bit, but they got an ace. They got Kyle Reagans, of course, and I think Eric Fede or Eric Fede, whatever his name is.
I never know how they always got a lot of guys with weird names.
I know.
Why?
I
Why
know.
do the Royals always got these guys? I think they're all like Italian guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Fetty,
Fede.
Fade.
But
Yeah.
that's my only argument against them. I think that Kansas City is gonna got them. That's how kids are saying it now. They're gonna got them. Yeah. Eventually. All
That's right.
right.
We're in tune with the youth. We got
Yeah.
our pulse.
Man,
We
let me
got our
tell you
fingers on the
something.
pulse of the youth.
Let me tell you something about my days.
About my day,
Eh,
you him,
yo, you
you
what?
him, you him.
Your kids never, real quick. I'm sorry, but your kids never tell you something. You're like, what does that mean? What?
Yeah,
What?
all the time, bro. All the time. I be having to Google stuff, man. I be feeling old, bro. I be like, damn, coño, I'm out of touch, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
still telling you, yo, that was popping. Like nobody talks like that no more. Like my dad, I said
Nobody.
something the other day. My son looked
Mhm.
at me like you're so like lame, dad. But
Yeah,
he doesn't want to tell me that because he wants me to still buy him toys and stuff. But
yeah, yeah.
he looked at me like, but
Trying to be cool. That's not cool, Dad.
yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah.
that is not
Hey,
cool.
hey, at least, I'll spoil it for myself.
Uh-huh.
I hate it, and I hope that it doesn't happen. But
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Baltimore losing this NL East, man. I just can't see it.
Or the AL East.
Can't see it. Yeah, AL East. I mean, they got it. I think Baltimore got it over the Yankees, man. I'm sorry to all my
Well, I
Yankee fans,
believe.
including me.
No, but I know you want to be
Mhm.
wrong. You're doing like the
No, no,
reverse
no,
jinx.
no, not the reverse jinx. I mean, I think that they've been more consistent, you know. And once they got a, what's this kid from the Phillies that they got
Oh,
a
Seranto,
yeah, Ser Anthony
Seranto y
Dominguez,
Dominguez.
bro. He's been killing it. He
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just took
yeah,
Kimbrough out. I was like, I didn't know you had this in you. I mean, I
yeah,
knew you were
yeah.
a long reliever, but I didn't see you were a closer, and he's been great, man.
He's been great.
He's
Yeah.
been great, and I gotta be honest, man. The Yankees, they don't have a closer, man. So they've been suffering. They would have ran with the NL with the AL East if they had a closer, but since they don't, this is what you get.
I think I get it. I maybe this is part of okay. So in this case with the Yankees is the opposite for me as far as with the AL East. I got the Yankees winning the AL East, and this has to do with history. I just and it's a stupid way to think. It's a flawed way to think, but
Hmm.
I think that Baltimore when the lights are bright. I saw when the Mets beat the Orioles 2 out of 3. I saw I saw some flaws in that team.
Okay.
They got some swing and miss. Now the Yankees pitching needs to hold up. And remember, they're gonna deal with each other before the end of the season. I believe they end the season
Yeah,
in
they
a
still got
3-game
three
set.
games. They still got 3 games against each other.
Yeah, so eso está por definirse. So I think the Yankees will edge out the Orioles in first place.
Yeah, I mean the Orioles, I think have they're right there in terms. I was looking for the hardest schedule, but to be honest, they all have like kind of an easy schedule
Similar.
coming forward. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean the White Sox, the Colorado Rockies, and Detroit.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
come on, man,
They're the
that's
crappy
Baltimore.
schedules, bro.
God damn. All
They
right,
gotta fatten
so
up. They gotta fatten up.
the last thing, right, in terms of the MLB standings, tell me who are your guys? Like in terms of the wild card for the AL, who do you got?
Yeah, so AL wild card for me. Let me see. Okay, so obviously because I had mentioned that the Yankees would win the division, just the first wild
Hmm.
card will be Baltimore. I think Yankees win probably by a game, you know, first place to me. So I think I got Orioles in the number one wild card. Number two, I got Kansas City because I mentioned Cleveland will win the
Cleveland.
division,
Hmm.
right? And then I got Minnesota there. Minnesota's gonna. I really want to see Minnesota for selfish reasons. I want to see Minnesota in the playoffs
No, no,
because I
no.
want to
Of
see
course.
Carlos Correa in the playoffs. So that's me. I
Yeah,
just want to
no.
see because that's the only time he's any good. So
So for me, same thing. We just flip flopped. Yankees, Cleveland, Minnesota. But I'm sorry, but I want to talk real quick about one thing before we
mhm.
go into 7:30, 7:30. Hey, I know that they just fired their guy, right? Seattle Mariners.
Scott
Surveys.
surveys.
It's
Yeah,
been a while. This guy, what was his tenure? 9 years with the team.
he's been there
So
long enough. Yeah.
yeah. So, in my opinion, he had no fault on Julio Rodriguez getting hurt. He had no
Agreed.
fault on a basically the team not being able to produce offensively. I think that, to be honest, the pitching has been good, and I think that's where I evaluate guys in game decisions. That's all that matters to me. Like if you make the right decisions, 3 times out of 10, I'm good with that, or half of the time.
Right.
And I think he was a serviceable like guy. I mean, you had them for 9 years. I mean, there was a reason, but for some reason they always flamed out at the end, and it happened again. They just flamed out. They had the NL West, and now like nothing. Not even on the wild card race. They're six and a
I
half games back.
I don't like
Hmm.
when it comes to I don't like the way Seattle has constructed their lineups for a long time.
Hmm.
They have a philosophical issue when it comes to constructing lineups. They've done good at scouting and developing pitching, but their offense just continues. I mean, they went and picked up Randy Arozarena,
Hmm.
one of the most overrated players in baseball. I'm not a big Arozarena fan. He hasn't been good in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they should have gotten a better bat than that. Now I don't know if they could have because it's very hard to, but I blame the GM on this. I agree with you. I don't think Surveys the former manager did a bad
Hmm.
job. I don't think he
Yeah.
deserved to lose his job.
And I would have loved for Manny Acta to pick it up, but at the end of the day, you know
I
how it
like
is.
Manny Acta. I no no
I
yeah, of
love him.
course. And
I love him.
hey, you know what hurts my no, I love Manny
Yeah.
Acta. I think he's learned from some of his past tenures.
Hmm.
He's a bright guy,
Yeah.
players manager. He's still young, still
Yeah.
fairly
He's still.
young.
Yeah.
Bilingual, professional. I
Hmm.
would love to see Manny Acta get a new job. Like, he deserves a fresh start. I would love that's on the side, but
Yeah.
I would love
And
to
if
see Manny Acta get another opportunity.
and to be honest, I mean, I don't know how he deals with Julio Rodriguez. But he's Dominican. He's gonna be there for 10 years. You might as well have somebody, you know, that he respects, that he
That's right.
likes. Coño.
If
Anyways,
there's
all right.
anybody, if there's anybody who I would build. I'm sorry, we're going off on a tangent,
Yeah.
but
No, no, no.
just
Go.
quickly, if there's anybody I would build my franchise around, Julio Rodriguez is that guy. Like
Yeah.
everybody's off the Julio Rodriguez bandwagon.
I'm
I
not.
understand that, but he's a young guy who you put too much pressure on him.
Hmm.
You put too much on this kid. He needs help. Okay, so Seattle, if you're listening, they're probably not, but
Yeah. No.
give this guy help. He can't carry a team by himself. He
Hmm.
needs help. So give him help. I believe in Julio Rodriguez, and I stand by that. So yeah,
I'll call that as the first question of the 7:30.
yeah.
I'm gonna give you 6 more. Now these have to be fast. This is how do you call it? A Not a hot
Yeah.
take.
Speed round. So what is
A
it?
speed
A
round.
speed round or
Yeah.
yeah.
A speed round, basically like 5 minutes. We're gonna go boom, 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 boom. Number
Ajá,
one,
dale.
tell me who's having a better season, Eli de la Cruz or Francisco Lindor?
This
Go
is not
for
a
it.
debate.
All right, go.
Francisco Lindor, but I mean, if you would have talked about the first half, you could have made a better argument.
Hmm.
But I mean, De La Cruz is not consistent enough offensively yet, and
Hey.
he's just scratching the surface. But he's
Mhm.
he's he's not a shortstop. Él es un gran talento disfrazado de Ciore. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
I just wanted to make the clip with you because I know that you were gonna go off, but if people don't know, you love Eli de la Cruz more than I do actually. So
I
just so
do.
people don't know,
I love
yeah.
De La Cruz, and you're not a Lindor hater.
No, no,
This
no.
is
And
what
I'm
make
not a Lindor hater.
we're very objective. We don't do this, we don't
The
do this
Skip Bayless, Shannon
lamboneria
Sharp
thing.
stuff.
No, we don't do that. No, we're very objective. No, we don't do that.
We know, we know. All right. Mariners, they hired Edgar Martinez as the hitting coach for the rest of 2024. What do you think?
So I love the opportunity for him, but boy, I gotta tell you, it's like, oh, here,
Mhm.
Edgar, we can't hit. We need you. This is desperate. This is
This
a
is
desperation ploy. And I
this
love
is
Edgar,
Sean
pero coño.
Casey to the Yankees.
Yeah, right. Edgar,
Mhm.
hey, Edgar, come here. One of our best players of all time. Come over here, please help us, bail us out. ¿Cuánto me va a dar?
Mhm.
Enséñame los chavos. that your boy that
No,
I don't think it's desperation.
it's desperation, and at the end of the day, the manager that is coming, I don't know who is coming, but let's say, for example, it's Manny Acta, for example, then most likely he'll keep Edgar Martinez, but it shouldn't be the job of the general manager to hire somebody that is going to be interim,
Yeah.
unless they were loyal to surveys and they just like, you know what, I'm leaving with surveys. I don't know.
I'm willing
Anyways,
to bet you because remember he's been the hitting coach before.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm
mhm,
willing to bet you. We'll save this clip. Maybe I doubt I'll be wrong. He will not be back there next year.
I
I
would
almost
agree.
guarantee. Edgar does not want to be in a dugout.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, number three, the D-backs move Jordan Montgomery to the bullpen. What the hell is going on? Coño.
Jordan Montgomery doesn't have bullpen stuff. He's not having a great year. They're trying to figure out, okay, how can we make him earn his money? He's had a bad year.
Hmm.
There's no other way to say it. He hasn't had a good year. The Arizona hasn't been good to him. This is a bad move. I think it's gonna backfire. You don't put a struggling starting pitcher in the bullpen.
No, you never do. It
Nope.
doesn't work. Phil
Not
Hughes,
mid,
all
not
those
mid
guys.
year, not mid year. Maybe if the next year if you want to experiment, but or not to start a year, yes, maybe, but not in the middle of the year. Bad move.
Psychologically, I think that the free agency, he talked about it. He was like, they basically effed me up. Like Scott
Yeah,
Boras effed me
yeah.
up. He fired him and everything. So I think that, it wasn't good for him. Number four, the Dodgers designate Jason Hayward for assignment. The question is, it's
Oh
more than
boy.
that. Did he live up to the hype?
No, no, never. First of all, there were so many times in the season where I forgot he was even in the major leagues. I'm like, what is he still doing around? Like, this guy wasn't even good in his prime. Like, he's had moments, but I heard all Jay Hay, the Jay Hay kid.
Jay Hay
Oh
kid,
my
yeah.
God, he's so wonderful. Since Atlanta, he does everything well. 5'2" player. No, sorry. Was he a total scrub? No, not necessarily. But he wasn't what they made him out to be. Nice guy, I'm sure. Wish
Mhm.
him well in retirement. Enjoy retirement.
You think that's it? That he's gonna retire?
He should,
Damn.
unless he
All
wants to.
right.
Look, we'll take him in Puerto Rico. If he wants to play in Puerto Rico, he'll be like the cleanup hitter over there. Pero,
So, listen, yeah, it was underwhelming. God damn, it was underwhelming. I don't know if you remember. He hit a home run not on his first at bat, but on the first baseball that he saw, he hit a home
mhm,
run.
yeah,
I
I
was like,
remember.
man, this kid is special, man.
And
This kid is
this
special.
was the highlight of his career.
Basically, he was an all-star once in his whole tenure, and that was his rookie year. That was it. Like his
Yeah,
rookie of the
no,
year, I mean, he wasn't rookie of the year. It was Buster Posey, 2010, but that was like the year for him to shine. And after that, it was underwhelming. Apart from
yeah,
wielding like the Gold Glove like for I don't know like four times maybe. So
yeah.
he was a good fielder. I gotta
He
be honest.
reminded me. He reminded
Yeah.
me of a lesser version,
Hmm.
or similar to Jackie Bradley Jr. Just
Okay.
with less hype.
And
Jackie
Jackie Bradley
had
Jr.
less
is
hype,
still trying to make it to the bigs again. You know that.
and I used to love him. Yeah, he's in the Mets
Yeah.
organization. I was a
Hmm.
big Jackie Bradley Jr. fan because I'm a defensive fanboy, so I love
Hmm.
his defense. But he never hit enough, to warrant that money or to warrant a big contract.
At
So
all. All right. So Astros to sign Hector Neris. What do you think?
I think that the Astros are very good with pitchers,
Hmm.
especially Latino pitchers, Dominican. They love Dominican relief pitchers, love
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can
They
never
do.
have too many. They need to meet their quota. They need like five or
Yeah,
better. So it's like, let's get another. We need it. We're short of Dominican. We need another one. So we get
yeah.
Dominican relievers. Now this is a why not take a flyer. I tell you, Hector Nery scares the crap out of me in a big spot.
Oh, for sure, man.
I've never been a big fan. I've seen him in the NL East get lit up like a Christmas tree, but
Hmm.
he's had good moments too. And I think if anybody can fix him, I think the Astros can fix him.
Yeah,
And he kind of
hey,
looks
I
like
think.
Joe's McFly.
Yeah. He does actually. Damn. You know, Just McFly is Dominican. That's crazy
No.
though.
What
Yeah,
gave
he's
that
Dominican.
away? What gave that away? I know that.
The shirt. Okay.
No, no, he does. Yeah, he doesn't acknowledge I exist, but one day he'll know. He'll
He'll
acknowledge
know.
me.
All right. Last one. Joey Votto announces his retirement. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
He's a no ballot Hall of Famer. He's
Dang.
not a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
He's
Let me
not a
hear it.
Hall of Famer. He's not
All
a Hall.
right.
I know everybody loves. Oh yeah, he walks 100,000 times. I love it. He averages 100 walks 50 times in his career. I
Mhm.
love it. Oh, I love that he doesn't swing the bat. I love it. Let's pay you to walk. No, he's to be honest, he was a very good player,
Mhm.
good defensive player.
Yeah.
Uh, good power. If you notice in his career, if you take a look, you can see towards the later stages of his career, he became way too passive. Way too
Okay.
passive. Earlier in his career, he used to swing the bat more. He
Okay.
started to become too in love with the walk. And I think it hurt his production because there's some years where he hits 30 something home runs and the RBI numbers are kind of low. So I always wanted him to drive in more runs, but that's just his approach. So very Hall of the very good is where he goes to me.
So the only guy that I can equate him to is like Tony Perez, as a first baseman type of
Hmm.
thing. Eh, he got 379 home runs. Joey Votto right now, 356, 1144 RPIs. I mean, it doesn't scream Hall of Famer, in my
Hmm.
opinion, right?
No.
Eh, and if I have to think about it, I would normally say no, right? He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I do think that he's gonna go in.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just
He'll
my
get in.
intuition
I think he'll
because
get in.
people love him, especially the
Yeah.
media loves
Yeah.
him,
Hmm.
and I think he's a funny guy. I think he's just like
He's goofy and
he's
stuff. Yeah, they like that.
goofy, and they love that. At the end of the day, I think that he's a Hall of Famer. Maybe on the 8th year, people will realize, like, you know what? He was great. His WAR was great. He was good defensively. He won an MVP. You know what? Let's get him in there. He never had any fights. Like we see people all the time that they'll make excuses not to get him in. Carlos
Hmm.
Beltran,
Hmm.
eh, Ozzy, Ozzy, what's his name? Not Ozzy Yang. I'm sorry. Eh, the shortstop for Venezuela.
No, Vizquel. I mean, Vizquel, obviously.
So I think that if he's on the ballot and somebody dislikes somebody else because of how they treated media or something, they're gonna put him above him. And I think he's gonna get that threshold of 75% eventually.
Mira,
That's
yo te
me.
digo la verdad, yo no
Mhm.
creo que él va a durar mucho en, en the ballot. No creo.
You
Él
think
no va
he's
a
gonna
tener
be
que
like
esperar
third,
mucho.
fourth year?
Fácil. Just because of the way people vote now. I just think that they'll find some scientific formula to vote him in. And,
Todd
you
Helton,
know,
it's a good example too. I mean, Todd Helton. The only
Helton
thing
was
that was
better, but
he was better. He was better. I don't think people realize how good Todd Helton was,
very good player.
and they just like if you didn't see him, then you would think that that was a course field effect. But in reality, no, he was really good. He was good
Yeah.
for many years.
Yeah, no,
Anyways, that
I
was it.
thought Todd Helton was tremendous. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think Votto's gonna get in, but if you ask
Hmm.
me, I wouldn't vote him in. So just to be on record,
Yeah.
hypothetically, as they say, gun to your head,
Oh.
life or death, you wouldn't
Hmm.
vote him in, right? You don't view him necessarily as a Hall of
No,
Famer.
no, no. If like I
Okay.
said, if I have to think about it, you're not a Hall of
Okay.
Famer. Like
Right, right.
once it like boom, you're a Hall of Famer. I mean, without a question, like people mention your name, you're a Hall of Famer. My dad used to say that a lot. If
No,
I
es
don't know
verdad.
him, if I don't know
Mhm.
him, then he's not a Hall of Famer. And my dad was
Good
just a
point.
casual. If I don't know him, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. No, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. And it makes it tricky because,
Hmm.
first, also another thing to before we wrap up, another thing is
Yeah.
first base is a very the position is loaded. Like you had so many great. It's such an offensive position. So
Yeah.
that to me is where I draw the line. Where it's like now I understand like you have guys like for example the wars are not high on guys like Andres Galarraga,
Hmm.
or Carlos Delgado. Their wars are low relatively
Yeah.
speaking to the position, but their power numbers are better than Votto's.
Yeah.
So
They
so
are.
it's and they're not in. So, but based on the war, I think he's got like a 64 war based on depending on where
Yeah.
you
No.
look.
To be honest,
Uh,
64.5. It's really good. Like it's
it's
really good.
really good, but for a first baseman though, you got to
Hmm.
remember for a first baseman, and I believe it's higher than Tony Perez as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, uh, they might use that to justify it as well. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's Tony Perez was at 53.9.
yeah, higher than his, I believe higher than Peruchin Cepeda as well. I mean, they're different eras though, but
Oh, he was higher
those are
than
the
Todd Helton
yeah.
too. Damn. You know what? Maybe I'm selling him short. Maybe he is a Hall of Famer. Maybe
No,
he
no,
is.
don't.
God damn.
No, don't flip flop now. Don't do that to me now. I listen. I would I be mad if he gets in? Of course not.
No,
I don't
no,
have
of
any.
course
My
not.
malicia,
No,
pero
no, no.
I just feel like that they're watering the Hall of Fame down a little bit, and the standards are higher for certain people than others. I don't think it becomes a popularity
No, you
contest
can say it for Latinos.
for
It's a
Latinos. Yeah,
milestone to get in.
look at all the
Billy Wagner.
Latinos.
Billy Wagner's
Mhm.
about to go in, and then Francisco Rodriguez is just like help me out, and he's
Now
like
it's
fourth on
funny,
saves or
and
whatever.
it's funny, right? It's funny
Hmm.
when you mentioned that because to Yusuf,
Hmm.
and I said I've talked to him about this. Yusuf puts him down, puts K Rod down like he's a scrub. I'm
No,
like,
no, no. He wasn't.
I
He
don't.
wasn't,
He
man.
likes Billy Wagner more than K Rod, and I don't understand. Yusuf between us. Well, I'll tell him. I
Yeah.
like to bust his chops. He has this thing with Venezuelan players. I don't know what the fuck it is. He puts them down. Like I think he's trying to get elevar a Cuba,
Yeah, I think so
but
too.
he has this issue with Venezuelan players. I be telling him, yo, you can't
Apart
sleep on
from
this guy.
Bobby Abreu, he likes Bobby Abreu. He really
Now he
likes him.
likes Bobby Abreu. Bobby Abreu, not a Hall of Famer.
No,
Hall of the very good.
Hall of the
You
very
know,
good.
that's
That's
not a
another good
knock.
example. No, no.
He would
There's
put
so many people. There's so many people on the Hall of Very Good that you don't realize how like
yeah.
how many people.
Alfonso Soriano and
Ooh,
Dominicans hate me
yeah,
when I say this, but
yeah.
if you have a guy who didn't he has no position outside
Hmm.
of being a dominant DH like Big Papi, outside of that case, right? Or Edgar.
Hmm.
Soriano played the field every day and was not good anywhere he was.
No,
Like
I
that
agree.
matters. Like he was
Yeah,
not good at second base. He was not good at he was good nowhere. He could hit,
the
but
Hall. I'll tell you this: the way that I can see the Hall of Very Good is if
uh-huh.
that player played for a team for a long tenure, for more than 8 years or whatever, and he makes it to their Hall of Fame. The good example
Mhm.
is Arami Ramirez. I think he's the Hall
Oh,
of
sí,
Very
sí,
Good,
sí,
and
también.
he made the Hall of Fame of the Cubs, for example.
Mhm. Right.
In my opinion, that's
Yeah.
a great
Very good.
way
Great
of
career.
putting it. Like, yeah, great career. Not a Hall of Famer, but
Bernie Williams, same
Bernie
thing.
Williams, same
Posada,
thing.
same thing. Those aren't Hall of
Correct.
Famers to me. I
Correct.
think they're great, and Boricuas hate me when I say that. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna just say it because you want me to say it. Like, those aren't Hall of Famers. That's not a knock to
Now,
say they're not
the
Hall
only
of Famers.
that is should be is Carlos Delgado. He's not Hall of Very
Yeah,
Good. He's a Hall of Famer.
to me, he
People
is
don't
too.
see it
I
like
know the
that.
war is low. That's what it is too.
The what?
The war is not high. I think that's what that and also the anti
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
the stupid the national anthem thing killed him.
yeah. No, no, no. That killed him. That completely killed him. Yeah. No, I agree.
But you
And
compare
maybe his
his numbers
attitude.
to
Mhm.
bro, compare his numbers to Jim Tomei, compare them to Frank Thomas, compare them.
Tony
They're all
Perez,
right
the
there.
same thing. Like if
Perez
you
better than
compare him
Perez,
to
better than Cepeda.
basically the Joey Votto case, you can make it for Carlos Delgado.
Right.
He was 37. I'm sorry, 27 home runs from being a Hall of Famer. If he would have gotten the 500 club,
500.
that was it. That was it.
Good point. It's amazing how that's the stupid number, the milestones, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between 470, whatever, 474, whatever it was, and 500, right? It's just the perspective, how you think of a guy.
And
It's
I don't know
amazing.
why to be honest, I don't know why he retired on 2009 because I think if he would have played one more
La
year,
cadera, la
one more year,
cadera.
oh, it was killing him.
It was
Okay.
bad. Yeah, he signed a contract with Boston and he had a bad hip. He tried to come
And that
back.
was it.
He rehabbed it. He couldn't. That's it. He hurt his hip.
Damn.
He couldn't turn on the ball. That was it.
Because the year
Carlos
before
Delgado,
that,
when he can't
he
hit,
had,
that's it.
listen, 38 home runs before that. Like the year on 2008, he had 38
Mets.
home runs with the Mets. Yeah, with the Mets.
Yeah,
Damn.
no. I mean, he was a great player, and I have no shame in saying he was the greatest slugger from Puerto Rico. He was the greatest slugger from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's not a knock on anybody. That's just what it was.
No,
It was the greatest slugger we've ever had from Puerto Rico, and and he played clean. There was no steroid allegations, nothing. So,
no, nothing at all. All right, Santos,
right?
this is it.
Ah, man, this was great, bro. I appreciate you all the time.
Good.
We always keep it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So Willy Baez, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you, man. And suerte, mano. We'll talk.
Thank you so much,
all right.
bro. Dale.
Nos vemos. All right. This was episode number 12. And I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Willy for coming on, of course. And remember to subscribe, comment, the whole thing, wherever you get your podcast. And as always, live your life as if you're in a 3-2 count. Till next time.